Hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It is great to be with you guys tonight. As you know, another fun evening here with you. Welcome to IFYL. Got my hat fixed there. Inspirations for your life. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you are new to the channel and you're watching us, launch your phone, point over the QR code, touch the yellow lips, and you'll get my link tree just like that. If you're listening to us and you're new to us, just go to Believe, Believe, me, M-E, achieve.com. That's believemeachieve.com. And I want to thank you for coming. And I also want to thank those of you that are coming back and supporting us, friends, colleagues, associates. Really do appreciate you. And I want to thank those that are watching us on the replays, whether that's 1 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 a.m., 3 p.m., 6 p.m., 6 a.m., 12 midnight, 12 noon, or whenever the heck you're watching us. Thank you so much for making the choice to have inspirations for your life be part of your day every single day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into the master topic. Here it is, everyone. Intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. We're on Series 2, Show 15, Episode number 7. Series 2 means we're in our second year, ladies and gentlemen, so really cool there. So let's talk about intrinsic, extrinsic motivation. So people ask me all the time, John, how does motivation work? Is it something you just spray in the air and it works? Well, not quite. So we've said before that motivation, okay, can help us to do the things we want, our goals, our desires, aspirations, etc. Motivation works because it influences our subconscious. And we know our subconscious runs the body, basically 97% of the mind and body. And so behavior that is reinforced positively or negatively is motivation. Now, there are two types of motivation, ladies and gentlemen, and we've been talking about this all week: intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation, right? Intrinsic motivation are things that we do for stuff inside of our body, like we feel a certain way, we feel good, right? And I have to tell you, that it's interesting because extrinsic motivation is like all the stuff that people, like all the materialistic things, right? But a lot of times what we've learned is intrinsic motivation for some people actually will work to motivate them better. It just depends on the person, to be quite honest with you. And so motivation is something that should be part of everyone's life. Now, if motivation doesn't yield action, well, then it's futile. It's futile. Motivation doesn't yield action, it's futile. Right? It's worthless. Motivation is something that will propel your mind to get your body to act. Okay? For example, if we're talking about an extrinsic motivation, maybe I don't know, you want to get into a certain relationship, right? And you want to have that person by your side. Now, depending on what the reasons are, if it's a reason because you feel a certain way, well, then that means that's intrinsic. But let's say it's because of the fact that you just want to be able to, if it's touch, you want to be able to hold a person, or you want to be able to see the person, that would be extrinsic. And so when we see what we want, our mind starts to take steps or actions to put us in that place on, I'll call it the floor. So if we were going to play golf, for example, and we know that we want to hit a 250, 275 yard drive, right? We can picture ourselves hitting it. Maybe we've never hit drives in our life. I know when I started many, many years ago, I couldn't even do more than just tip the club and the ball would just go right off. I'm like, oh, does it happen sometimes? Sure. But it's not the consistent thing, right? Consistently, I get up there, I address the ball, and my ball goes 200 yards, 250 yards or more. And so what motivated me is that feeling. It feels so great to know that I hit that ball, right? It feels so good. What motivated me to lose weight, as you guys know, is the stupid iPhone, the way it kept bumping into things and when I was on the plane and stuff. So I lost weight because of the feeling that I wanted to get. That's intrinsic. That's intrinsic, ladies and gentlemen. And so a lot of people say to me, hey, John, motivation sounds complicated. Well, it doesn't have to be complicated. It really doesn't. So other things people ask me is, hey, John, do I need a complex plan to do this? No, you don't. So what is a motivation plan? How do you motivate yourself? Right? How do you do that? And you got to put your goal down on paper in your computer and you got to set it to a calendar, right? You want to make working towards your goal something that's fun and a habit. Be ready for imperfection because you're not going to have perfection immediately. Set small goals to build momentum. Track your progress. Reward yourself for the little wins as well as those big ones. Embrace positive peer pressure. Practice gratitude, 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 and be sure to include yourself in that. Do some mood lifting, change your environment, and remember your why. If your why, ladies and gentlemen, is not loud enough, and by loud enough, I mean it doesn't have enough passion behind it to keep it burning, you're not going to do anything. People in life do things for two reasons, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to share that with you right now. To avoid pain and gain pleasure. That's why our hospitals are so busy, right? But wouldn't people rather be in pleasure than out of pain? See, I think people have conditioned themselves that, oh my gosh, I'm in pain, so I got to get out of it. Instead of having the mindset, I'm living a healthy life, I feel great, my body feels great. And that's what I do every day. I feel great, my legs feel great, my back feels great, my arms feel great, my every part of me feels great. And so when you do that and you have the expectation that your body's healthy and it feels great all the time, see, that's when you're going to manifest that. A wise person said to use the I am statement. Okay, so how does the I am statement help us achieve our goals? Oprah Winfrey even said this was a great statement to use, right? The I am is constantly getting you to think about your life, not what it will be, but what it is. I am this. I am healthy. I am abundant. I am a billionaire. I am wealthy. I am successful. I am not in the future. I am now. So positive affirmations can help us, but I don't want you to think that just shouting them out is going to get you to become a millionaire because you got to believe in these things. I mean, you got to believe in these things, like Joe, with every core, bone, fiber, ligament, and tendon in your entire body. You've got to believe these things. You have to. If you don't believe them, no one else will believe you. One of the things that I say all the time, and you see my hat, or you are at least hearing me talk about my hat, believe and achieve, believemeachieve.com. We have to believe in ourselves first. Remember what Henry Ford said. If we believe we can do it, we're right. And if we can't, we're also right. So that means that our brain has a tremendous amount of power, all based on belief. We remember the book by it was The Magic of Believing by Claude Bristol Myers, right? The Magic of Believing. Does I remember that book? I talked about that before. The Magic of Believing, right? Bristol Claude Myers. And, it was a great book. The solution to any perceived problem is hidden in plain sight for you. But the question I always ask people is, why is the solution not coming up right away? Maybe we're too focused on the problem. Maybe we need to step away from it. Maybe we need someone else's perspective, right? I think that when we appreciate how we do things and it becomes fun, we want to do them more. Do you remember the story of motivation with the dog, Pavlov and the dog? So Pavlov, the scientist, and the dog, he would put food out, and the dog would salivate. He noticed this all the time, so he said, "Huh, I wonder if I rang a bell and put the food out and rang the bell, what would happen?" Dog would probably salivate. But then he wondered, if I kept doing this and doing this, and I'd ring the bell before I bring the steak, the dog would still salivate. Classical conditioning response. So when we motivate ourselves, we have already anticipated the carrot. We've already anticipated the feeling, all right, or we felt it, and therefore we do it. Why do we exercise? Because we feel good, right? Maybe there's an intrinsic reason. We feel great about ourselves, right? The extrinsic reason, people are going to notice us. Extrinsic reason might be that we fit in clothes better, right? Because it is kind of an extrinsic thing. You can buy smaller clothes. So I think people need to realize that motivation is not some pie in the sky. You heard me. It's not pie in the sky. It is something that you can literally reach out and do right now. Now, you might not be able to touch all your motivation, right? Like I said to you, hey, do your exercises every day. And you can't really touch that, can you? No, but you can feel it, right? When you go to a soup kitchen or you volunteer to shelter or something of the nature, you can't touch that, but you can feel that you were a part of the process. You can feel that you have purpose. And that makes us want to do it again and again and again and again. Let me give you an example. Have you ever gone on a ride at an amusement park? I'm going to take the Tilt-A-Whirl. That's one of my favorites. Or the Scrambler, either one. So you get in the Tilt-A-Whirl. I remember the first time I got in, I was very small. And you got in and they turned the ride on. It started going around. And then I started realizing, I came with a few friends and you had to lean left and right. And that's when the real, let's say, excitement happened, right? Because just the ride moving around didn't do enough unless you really leaned. And so the interesting thing about this ride was that the first time it happened, it was like a little bit daunting. It was like, what did I get myself into? Like, and then, did again. And I just realized, okay, don't go on these rides like just after you eat. Make sure that you have at least had a half hour, 45 minutes before going on this ride after you ate. And so I enjoyed the feeling. In fact, when I was getting in line, I already was feeling what it was like to be whipped around with the scrambler or to be having my world tilted as I leaned to the right or leaned to the left or was in the middle and was just part of that role. Once we've had a chance to taste something, maybe there's a favorite dessert you like, right? And maybe it was chocolate mousse cake. Maybe some of you've had chocolate mousse cake. Maybe you've had lemon meringue pie. Maybe you've had strawberry shortcake or whatever your favorite cake is, right? Or chocolate chip cookies. And so when I mentioned that, your mouth probably started to salivate and you already were getting sensations of the dessert, what it felt like in your mouth. Beside the salivations, you also notice beside the salivating is that you were starting to taste the chocolate even before you picked up the fork because your body knows what the experiences is like. So if you don't know what experiences is like, go have the experience and then you'll be able to relive the experience over and over and over and over and over again. But how do you manifest something or motivate yourself to do something when you don't know what it's like? That's when it's hard. So you have to imagine. And when you imagine, you could imagine wrong, but it doesn't matter. you still are in that moment. And then when it happens, you can always adjust, oh, okay, it feels even better, or it feels like this, or you can adjust that. I remember the first time I went to I believe it was Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey. And a friend of mine took me down there, and we were going to go on this ride, a couple rides. One was called the Great American Scream Machine, and got on the roller coaster. Had never been on a roller coaster really before in my life, and they put the belt over you. Once that belt's over you, like, you're pretty much toast, like you weren't getting out. And then they started the ride, and my adrenaline was already building while I was on the line. And then when they clipped that belt in, it was like my heart started to race. And then they made the announcement, and then they started the ride, and then my heart started to beat faster. And I kept saying, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna go over that. Like, we're gonna go all the way up that, and we're gonna go down, and we're gonna go through the loop." And I'm like, okay, it's not gonna be bad. It's not gonna be bad. I'm just like waiting. It's like this anticipation and kind of holding on really tight. My friend was right next to me. And so we're going up, 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 up. And as we're going up, it's like whatever goes up has to come down. It's like, okay, so we're on the track. I just tried to realize it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So we get all the way to the top. Okay. And when we get all the way to the top, it was like my heart was really racing. I said, okay, so we're just going to go down a nice little, so just going to enjoy it. Go right down, just hold it, and then kind of close my eyes, and you felt it. And then we went right into the loops. And then they took the picture, obviously, of my eyes like closed like this. It was just like terrible. Still had the picture of myself and my friend. And it was really interesting. After we did that, he's like, well, you can go on anything now. It's like, again, yeah, that was the worst ride in the park. We went on it was Batman, which was a very smooth roller coaster. There was a steel coaster. And I figured this ride can't be too bad because it's hanging from the top. You don't see it. And it's just a nice gliding ride. So got on there. And my friend said, so first thing we did is when we got up there, you're supposed to crouch down, put your feet on the little footprints, kind of crouch down a little bit, wait till the chair kind of hits you, and then sit down. They put the bar over you. And I'm just kind of enjoying the nice little ride, and we're going up. And, my friend's like, make sure you keep yourself on a point. Like, don't look all over because you can get sick. So just keep your eye on a focused point on the ride. Like, especially when it's turning, like, just find a screw, like, focus yourself. And I just stayed on that screw or bolt. And, that feeling of just like letting it go was very breathtaking, and something right now that I can really not only see, hear, and feel like I was there right now. I remember going to it was was it MGM? It was actually MGM Studios in Florida, Disney World. And we were going with a friend of mine, and we were going on the Tower of Terror. And the Tower of Terror is basically this mansion, and you go in the elevator, and the elevator goes up, and then it drops. It's kind of like an elevator from hell, and it just kind of like, it has no brakes, but that's not how elevators work. So they kind of simulate the feeling, so you're really not dropping as fast as you think, but they do something a little bit crazy now. It's randomized. So what happens is the ride goes up, it picks a certain amount, let's say, of height that it's going to go up. Then it drops, and in addition to it dropping, it actually then bases the number of drops on a randomness too. So not only is the height that it goes up and supposedly the speed you're feeling the drop random, but the number of drops too. And so when this happened, it was very interesting because every time this went on, I will tell you that it was one of those experiences. And I can feel it right now, but I can tell you, elevators don't work like this. All right. You definitely want to read my article, The Evolution of Elevators, where they do not work like this. They're very safe. And so they were causing a feeling to happen by actually having fans blow up, so the drop seemed actually faster than it was. Actually, the drop was a controlled drop with fans to make it seem like it was worse than what it was. And then they randomized it so it could go up so much, then it could go down. But then it was the number of drops was random. So the amount of height that it would go up and the amount that it would drop was random, and the number of drops. So you had three things were random: the number of drops, how high it goes up, how much it drops. Three variables. And I can tell you that was an interesting experience. Let's talk about another experience. Tonight, I went to have some dinner, and then after that, I felt like having cookies and cream ice cream. It was very hot out. It was like 103 degrees here in New Jersey. And I have to tell you that I went and did that. Hey, Ken, how are you? It is great to see you tonight. Savoring the flavor of your awesomeness in you, sir, for sharing your delectable nuggets of wisdom, kindness, goodness, patience, encouragement, empathy, understanding, sincerity, perseverance, knowledge, honesty, love, hope, courage, tenacity, awesomeness, caring, positivity, compassion, passion, inspiration, resilience, respect, appreciation, gratitude, enthusiasm, guidance, motivation with us tonight. Ken, I am speechless. I am so grateful that you come in and join us and that you see what we're doing here, and that hopefully you can make this a part of your life and share it. Um, I do what I do because I love the feeling. So I was over there and I got cookies and cream. And I already knew like what the temperature was going to feel on my hand, like how cold it was going to be. I already knew from being there before. And then I already knew what the taste of it was going to be like. And then I started, eating it. So when we have an experience like the amusement park, like a certain food that we like, or maybe you're doing weights and you know what it feels like when you're out of breath, you know what it feels like after the workout, you feel really good, right? Or maybe you just know what it feels like to walk outside in shorts and have the air just brush up against you, right? That's a feeling. Love is also a feeling, right? So we get a feeling when we're around someone, right? Or maybe a friend that we want to share experiences with, could be platonic or not, and we just want to hang out. And that's what I did with my friend when we went to MGM Studios, and we went to Jackson, New Jersey at Great Adventure. Most people don't realize that when you have a thrill or you have an experience and you share that with someone else, okay, it could be a fear, it could be a moment of joy, a great euphoria moment, right? It causes us to create an energy where we bond very well with the other person. That's pretty good. Ben and Jerry chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream is so delectably, scrumptiously, deliciously, edibly tasty good. Yes, I've had that, Ken. That is a great ice cream. I had just cookies and cream. So you know what it's like, then, Ken, when I say to you, imagine yourself at home or at Ben and Jerry's and ordering that chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. And the moment that you're going to take that spoon and push it right in. Thank you so much. It's really cool. Thank you. And so you know what that feels like. So most people think that we do things in life to please others. Now, that's great if you do that, but I want to let you know that life is meant to be lived. It's meant to have experiences. And by us making the choice to live and to experience, That's what makes our life so special and so shareable with others. That's what makes friends and other people want to hang with you because you're living life. There's a lot of people like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. Like, and I don't know, that might mess my hair up, or I don't want to do that, or, I might get dirty, or I don't want to do that because, and I'll tell you another one. When I went to MGM Studios, um, the first time I saw this ride called it was called Aerosmith's Rock and Roll Roller Coaster, and I remember myself being young, and I wasn't ready to go on this. So my friend was supposed to come with me on the trip, but he couldn't. Something came up, and so he dared me to go on this ride, and I said, okay. You're not going to do it. I said, yeah, I'm going to do it. I said, I'm going to bring you a poster of me on it. It's like, done. We shook our hands. It was like going to be like a gentleman's bet where we were going to, whoever lost was going to buy the other lunch or dinner. So I got there and I got to Aerosmith. And when I got inside after being on that line, being a little nervous, there was a real strong coolness getting inside. And I'm talking about a temperature coolness. And so, I was watching the cars, how they come out. It looked pretty harmless, looked pretty easy. So I got in the next car, got in the back seat. There was a family already in the front seat. So I got in the back seat, closed the door. And I kid you not, ladies and gentlemen, it went from 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. How does that even happen? Magnetics. Right? And so the magnetic motor. And I can tell you that ride was amazing. Okay. And when the ride was all done, obviously they took a picture. I got the regular photo and I got the post, and I gave it to my friend when I got home that next week. He's like, you didn't go. I said, yeah, I got a picture. I said, I got a poster. And he didn't, unfortunately, honor his end of the bet, which was to buy me a small lunch or dinner. But the motivation that got me to do that was my friends like, oh, you can do that. There are kids that are 2 and 3 years old going on that. And that he kind of shamed me into it. Now, I don't tell you to do that with some people, but if you're doing that for a motivation reason, it could be good. When I was first learning how to swim and I didn't want to jump off the dock. Now I love swimming. I didn't want to jump off the dock. I don't know if I was afraid. I don't know what it was, if it was the temperature, whatever it was. Anyway, I was only in single digits, and I probably was not even in first grade. And I remember being at the dock, and my counselor told me to jump in. And I'm like, and they're like, 1, 2, 3. And I was like, and everybody else jumped off, and I kind of jumped back. And so I remember what had happened when all this happened, because the thing that was very interesting was that my counselor, I knew, wasn't prepared to go in the water. She had still her shorts over her bathing suit. She was not ready to go in the water. And so I was like, okay, John, we're going to go in on 1, 2, 3. We're like 1, 2. And then I knew she wasn't going in. So I just pulled right back. So one day they kind of outsmarted me, and they're like, first of all, they're like, if Ryman can go in or Mike could go in, and they're like, they're 2 years younger than you or whatever. And I think that was when I was in maybe second grade. They're like 2 years younger, you obviously can do it. And so that's what happened. They kind of got, I don't swim, so that will never happen for me. Well, I'm a Pisces, Ken, and Pisces is supposed to love water, and now I love water. But the point was that motivation that they were able to do it, and you're older and you should be able to do it. It kind of sunk. Like, yeah, what am I doing? Like, why am I holding myself back? So we love different experiences, whether it's food, different tastes, whether it's different exercises, whether it's listening to music, going to concerts, um, whether it's playing different sports. That's really, really important. And I think if people understood that life is meant to be lived, let me say that again, everyone. Life is meant to be lived. You might say, John, what the heck does that mean? So, in our minds, we sometimes put up a wall, and that wall is oftentimes worse than the actual problem or challenge we're trying to get through. So, with this mindset, we could tackle anything in life. Okay. We all have a lot of things we want to do in our lives, but let's not forget the joy, the playfulness of life, of chasing our dreams. So, what I want to tell you is keep being playful in life. When you are playful in life, your dreams come to you like a magnet. When you chase your dreams, you're running for them. This could be money, this could be relationships, it could be your home, it could be skills, anything. When you chase after them, is that an original quote? That life is meant to be lived. So life is meant to be lived. I'm trying to remember now if that was a yes, Eleanor Roosevelt said that, but there was more to it. Eleanor said, life was meant to be lived and curiosity must be kept alive. So there was a little part to that. So, but what I like to say is if we can approach life with curiosity as a child, we'll go far. And one of my videos I did a long time ago, we talked about imagination. And I said, what happens when people get older? They lose their imagination. Do they lose it? No, they don't lose it, but they get too preoccupied with, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. That's not the way it's supposed to be. They learn a lot of these limitations. And when the limitations don't exist, they just do it. For example, I love doing magic. I've been a magician for a while when I was younger. I haven't done it in a while, but I can tell you that when you're younger, you're more, let's say, willing to watch magic or illusionists, they call it. When you get older, you're not so willing. Thank you so much. I always try to give very profound information that inspires, intrigues, entertains, and of course, motivates. So, one of the things you do when you're a child, everybody probably has done this, is they blow bubbles, right? I'm sure we've all blown bubbles before. And so, what I did for the video is I went and got some bubble mix, not the one at the dollar store. You want to get the better kind, otherwise it just kind of fizzles out. And so I said on camera, use your imagination like you were when you were a kid, right? When you imagine things just came into your life so easily. And so I said, I'm gonna, open my my bubble mix, and I'm gonna take my magic wand, pretty long wand. You don't get that in the dollar store. So I took the big wand out, and I said, if you take it and you just do this, you get like no bubbles. If you take it and you glide it from one end of the body to the other, you get all these amazing bubbles. I also said, can't do one right at the moment, but I will in the future. I will tell you that when I was doing the whatever I was doing this. I was actually doing this thing and I was blowing bubbles. So the other way you can do it is you can take the bubble and you can just do like that, and you're going to get like a bubble or two. But if you really blow into it with your creativity like this, you get lots of bubbles. So what I concluded was that if we approach things with that playful spirit that we had when we were a child, we'll get those things. Now, maybe bigger things, bigger adult toy things, but because we're creative, we don't get bored, we don't get mad, we don't get angry, we don't get frustrated, we don't give up. We just say, okay, how about if you did a puzzle? right? You start with a, I don't know, a 50-piece puzzle, 100-piece puzzle, 500-piece puzzle, 1,000-piece puzzle, 2,500-piece puzzle, 3,000, 5,000, maybe in a 10,000 or even a 100,000-piece puzzle, right? And so you don't start with a 100,000-piece puzzle right away, even the 5,000. You start with a small one, like a 50 or maybe a 10 or 100. And so you start to put the piece together. You start to identify. And then you start to see, well, what fits there? What doesn't fit there? And you kind of play around with it. And I think when you play around with it, it's like, just like with the bubbles. I wonder what would happen if I took the bubbles and I went all the way down from my shins and I went all the way up to the top. Or if I took the bubbles and I went all the way around like a 360. That'd be pretty cool. Then I said to myself, gee, I wonder what it would be like if I could make bubbles that were like gigantic. My next video, I made this bubble maker out of 2 dowsing rods, you'd call it, 2 dowels. And I put the string and the little, basically tied the string here. And so it was coming from here and it came down here. And there was a little weight at the bottom. And then you put that in your bubble mix. And then you just kind of and actually I have that on my channel, believemeachieve.com. If you go to Science Fries with John, you'll actually see that's part of our opening trailer. People love to be a kid. And I think a lot of times adults yell at kids for not wanting, they yell at them for basically being a kid when they're like, oh, you should grow up. You're too old for that. You're not. You see, you can act in adult manner and still have a heart like a kid. I always tell people I'll keep growing up, but I'm always going to be a kid at heart. And I think when you're a kid at heart, you actually connect with passions in your life and are able to make a difference. Does that make sense? So in wrapping up intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation, we have intrinsic motivation, which deals with things inside of us, right? That we are motivated because of a feeling, because of things that happen. Extrinsic things outside us, like money, it could be relationships, it could be other materialistic things, a new car, a new house, whatever it is. But you got to get a plan to what you want. You got to get clear to what you want. And you've got to see what you want as already being here, as already being in your life. What's that, Ken? What do you love? I know you love so much about me. What do you love? I love your comments. You said that's what I love about you. So when we do this, okay, I manifested my first car. I'm not going to go into that right now. Just when I graduated college, I manifested my first luxury car by doing nothing more than the feeling and taking a proverbial drive in my chair every day. You see, you can say things all day long. That's not going to get you to become a billionaire, a millionaire. It's not going to get you to get your home or get your relationship. You got to feel these things first in your heart. We've said that your heart has more conduits, lines, wires, whatever you want to call it, connections going from your heart to your brain than your brain has to your heart. Now, I'm talking about incoming, outgoing. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I will tell you that there's more going from your heart to your brain. So your brain's like your second heart. And so your heart is sending so much data to your brain. Your brain sends a little data, okay? But your heart sends so much more data. You see, our feelings start, ladies and gentlemen, in the heart. So you might say, hey, I want $1,000. I want $10,000. Great, you could think about it, right? But I want you to feel it. I want you to feel it in your heart. How does it feel to have $10,000? What are you going to do with that? I could talk with you guys all night. It has been, I've got to tell you, an amazing privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you guys. I hope you'll check out believemeachieve.com. Definitely check out the daily podcast, which is an audio cast as well, which comes out 24 hours later. We do the audio cast, which goes out to like 25 different aggregates, Spotify, iTunes, etc. You also definitely got to check out tonight. It is absolutely amazing. You've got to check out my Jay Moore Tech Talk show tonight. I was on at 5:30. I did something I've never done before in history. You know what I did? I had a guest. Nope, that wasn't what I ever did before. I've had live guests before, and I've had guests that have been recorded before. Nope, that's not it. I had a guest live that wasn't a person. What? Yeah, you know who was on my show tonight at 5:30? Chat GPT. Chat GPT was on my show tonight. And I asked some questions like, what are your limitations? I even thanked Chat GPT for taking time to be on the show with me. And Chat GPT said, it was my pleasure to be with you. I said, well, before we say goodbye to you, Chat GPT, do you have anything you want to share with myself and my viewers? And ChatGPT said, yes, I would like to let you and your viewers know that I am an artificial intelligence system, a pre-generative technology transformer, and I'm not perfect. And I'm here to be a guest. Okay. And I can tell you that I'm here to be a guest. And that's the most amazing thing. So definitely like, love, support my channel. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I will be back. Definitely comment below. And I will see you guys. Do you know when? Yes, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. Definitely share this out with everyone you know. Comment as well. And I will definitely be back. So be sure to like, love, support my channel. And I will, ladies and gentlemen, definitely appreciate what you do. Make the choice to buy my team and I a cup of coffee or what have you. And we'll invest that into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, even new facilities. And we'll get that to the most jaw-dropping, motivational content that you can imagine. Have yourself an amazing night. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. So be well. Take care, everyone.